Many people love eating bread. They would like to eat bread preferentially every day. However, the last 20 years there is a lot of information that bread might be unhealthy, and the people are afraid by eating bread that they put on weight. The question is it true that the bread is unhealthy? If it is unhealthy, is there unhealthy bread as well? Because there are many different grains. Is one of the grain healthier than the others? I would like to answer these questions with scientifically proven facts. I have a biotechnology company. In this company, we take cells from human body and put them in small flask and then do a lot of tests. All kind of nutrients we give to the cells to see if the cells grow better and if the cells have more energy. You can have an impression how they grow. Here we have a lot of different flasks. In every flask, cells grow. We take these cells and put in a nutritional solution. All the vitamins, trace elements, proteins, we give them and then measure every day if they grow and if they have more energy. All the vitamins, trace elements, minerals, and micronutrients and amino acids, they are in chemical form available. We take all of them, solve in water in a pure form and test it with cells. We give the cells to this nutrient solution and see what is the best combination for the cells. From a grain, we can make in two different ways flour. The first method, we can take the whole grain, mill it in small particles and generate flour. Of course, if we make flour from the whole grain, we have the dark parts, which is the skin or the bran, and we have the starchy parts in the flour. And the flour has then dark color actually because of the bran, because of the skin. And from this dark flour, people make bread, and bread has also darker color. Some people don't like the dark color and they isolate the starchy part from the remaining part of the grain. They take out everything, take only the starch and then mill it in a miller, and then they generate white flour. And the white flour, if it is used for bread, the bread has also white color. We have done an analysis of all nutrients between two flours, white flour and dark flour. It seems to be very complicated in first instance. However, we have done the categories. When we look the categories in each other, we see the picture is much more simple. Let's look the minerals. Minerals are actually calcium, phosphate, magnesium, iron, copper, zinc, mangan. And in these minerals, white flour has much less concentration than the dark flour. And that is also understandable because the minerals sit normally on the skin. In terms of amino acids, we don't see a big difference between two flours because amino acids come from the protein, and protein doesn't sit outside of the grain. It is in the grain, therefore there is no big difference. When we come to the category of vitamins, again we see big difference. Especially B vitamins are much higher in dark flour than the white one. B vitamins are sitting on the bran, on the skin of the grain, and therefore the concentration is higher. In terms of fatty acids, there is no big difference. However, one parameter is significantly different, that is the fiber concentration. The fiber concentration in white flour is much lower than the dark flour. Of course, we have analyzed all the grains. We have put the white flour from wheat and dark flour from wheat, but also rye, oat, spelt, and rice. That are the common grains which are used most of the time in form of bread. And we have done the same analysis. Even that seems to be very complicated, but in reality it is not. The key message is here always the same. Actually, between the grains, there is no big difference. There cannot be big difference because all the grains belong to the same plant family. The difference between the grains is the whiter is a grain, the more unhealthy it is. The whiter is a grain, the less nutrients has that grain. Here we can see the green line, that is rice. Actually, in terms of minerals, it is a catastrophe. Very little proteins are inside. In terms of vitamins, there is almost nothing inside. Also, the fiber is very, very low. And the same is also with the white wheat flour, that is the black line. And that is the second worst flour what we could have. Everything else more or less the same. The question is whether bread is healthy or not. The answer, yes, it is healthy as long as you eat dark bread. Bread made from full corn. It is not very important from which grain is the bread made, because all the grains are more or less the same.